Well, we've got our buy side and sell side marked out, and looks like the move's happening before we can get in. I'm have to wait until 10 right there. Back testing the day. There are some days where there are no trades, and that's because the move happens prior to 10. Or some days we don't get a setup. But we'll just wait and see what happens after 10. This could come up, and then we could, enter if it comes back up into this fair value gap. Just wait and see. Well, there is going to be nothing for me for the morning session. The trade was right here, but so we got a fair value gap, and then above the buy side and targeting 90, which is a little before the sell side, which when I was plotting out these lines earlier, I was thinking around 90-ish. Sure enough, we hit it. It's a 87-point trade right there. Unfortunately, it happened before this line, which is 10 a.m. In my back testing, sometimes that happens. Sometimes the move happens before 10 a.m., but I don't take a trade until after 10 a.m. Eastern. So it's just one of those days where, again, analysis was correct, but the setup didn't quite meet the right parameters. Had I taken this 15 minutes ago and it was a losing trade, that would have been pretty bad because I wasn't following my rules. My rules are very strict with waiting until after 10 for an entry. I was kind of hoping it would kind of come back up so we could enter up in this fair value gap or possibly this one. But the fact that we came down to where our target would have been, now there's nothing for me. Whenever I would see this on back testing, whenever the move would happen before 10, just skip that session and go right on to the afternoon. So we will come back at a little before 1:30 to plot out our lunch session and then look for a setup there. On Thursday or Friday, the day I skipped, man, I'm kind of pissed I skipped and went out because there was a beautiful setup. So the lunch session is at 1 or between 12 and 1. So we marked the high up between 12 and 1 and the low between 12 and 1. Just pretty easy because we just started on here and just ripped up the whole time. But anyways, so after 1:30, we start looking, we're up above the buy side. We start looking for a bearish fair value gap. And look at that. We got it right there. Beautiful entries. I probably would have entered way down here right when we retested. So at 47-ish, we would have been risking 13 points. And I would have been targeting probably right below this low, right above this line. So that's 67 points or 60 points easy. And we just kept going. I'm not doing runners, but from this entry, look at that. So if we just held it to close, which I know this is all hindsight now, but when I was at lunch, I had my charts open. I just looked at like 1:30 to see what was out there, and I saw this. We were trading right up around here when I saw it, and I'm like, damn, that's a nice entry, but I'm not going to take a trade when I'm at lunch. Like, I'm not going to worry about managing that. But yeah, 170-point trade right there, just from our entry. That is exactly what we're doing. So I marked this down as a 60-point trade in my back testing log because had I been sitting here, I think I've proven that I have the discipline that I would have taken that trade and I would have held it, no doubt in my mind, to at least 60 points. So I marked that down for myself that this is how my strategy is doing and this is what I would have taken. Unfortunately, we weren't even at the computer to take it. And that's fine. I mean, we're not going to for the rest of our lives. We're not going to be sitting here every morning and every afternoon. The goal is to scale up to where we don't have to try to catch a trade every session. And that brings us to today, that we have this. I mean, you guys saw the lines I marked. They're just based on the highs and the lows from the London session. And if we're above them, then we look for shorts. If we're below them, we look for longs. It's clear as day right there. And then I was targeting 90, 87 points. I'm not marking that down because this was before 10 a.m. So this just goes down as a day where there was no setup. Liquidity was already taken out, or the move already happened before 10. In my back testing, I was very strict about not taking a trade until 10 a.m. and then in the afternoon, not until 1:30 or later. So if it's not there at 10, then we don't take it. Or if it already happened, then we don't take it and we move on to the afternoon. And that's where our discipline comes in, because now we're not going to chase this. The move that I anticipated happened already. It just happened a little too early today, and I don't have enough like experience testing to know if I should have taken that, because in my testing I was not taking it until 10 a.m. So we skip it and we move on. It takes a lot of discipline to skip a 80-90 point trade. So see you guys this afternoon. I'm taking this right here. I'm a few points off, but we would be targeting down at like 170, or not 170, just 70. This one's like borderline not 59 to 62. It's 3 points. I have written in my rules that a fair value gap can be 3 points, because I have taken some of those back testing. I wasn't in exactly where we should be, but it's 2 points that we're giving up. I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna move it down a little bit. But that gap is going right through that buy side. Now we just wait and see. Well, that didn't work. It was a pretty small fair value gap. However, I mean, I did back test fair value gaps this size. Yeah, it's plenty big enough. Just didn't work out this time. I do like that we came up and we made this little short-term high, then came up and took it out. Maybe I don't think I wanted. That's a super small one. Nope. 2 trades a day. We tried. It's gonna be it. It's not a big deal. It's part of the plan. Need to make sure we exit all of that. So just one of those days where our rules had us missing this first one, which we had at the entry there. It's perfect, but it needed to happen after this vertical line. And then this one just didn't work. That's all right. I believe that was good enough that I can mark it down in my back testing sheet though. So we will put that down $144 on that account and $48 on the other one. Now we take a break and come back tomorrow. Let me know how you guys did. Talk to you guys later.